Hello and welcome. You're listening to Song Stories, Quiet Stories, Episode 15, Paint Me a Picture. I am your host, CarolynMurset. A few minutes from now, you will hear from my guest, Lauretta Swansboro. She and I met almost 20 years ago when we were cast in A Man Who Came to Dinner. In this 2001 community theatrical production, I played the nerdy resident nurse, and she played the neighbor with a jar of pickled pig's feet. She had one line, and I had two lines. Yes, sir, and no, sir, repeated at least 21 times. I got to wear comfortable nurse shoes and stuff a Whitman's chocolate bonbon in my mouth before my character's final exit. She got to wear a fur coat. As Lauretta and I spent more time off stage than on, we became good friends and learned about the musical interests we had in common, songwriting and singing. We continued acting, and her husband and their young son joined her on occasion. She started directing plays. I stopped doing that a decade earlier. She convinced me to join the band that she and her husband, Pat, and another friend were forming because they needed a mandolin player. She played the bass guitar, Pat played the rhythm guitar, and their friend, Wayne, played lead guitar. In addition to mandolin, I also played percussion with a cajon because I don't own or play a drum kit. We called ourselves Evening Sunrise because none of us are spring chickens. When the band disbanded after a couple of years, Lauretta talked me into joining John Huston's gospel choir. She was a founding member, and I joined the choir after the first concert. I stayed for 6 years and left last year to pursue and prepare for the premiere of my original one-woman musical, Tales of Tila. Take a wild guess as to who I had direct me. She did a fantastic job of it, and hope she'll be able to resume that role when I revive my play at the venue, Brigham's Playhouse, this September 2019. I use the word hope for various reasons. Lauretta stage managed a local production of The King and I earlier this year and is currently directing The Pajama Game, all while continuing with the gospel choir, doing stand-up comedy, dabbling in oil painting, and managing a serious health concern that almost took her life a year ago. She isn't one to sit at home and twiddle her thumbs while waiting to get on that list for that major operation. When the health issue she'd been dealing with was identified, she wrote a beautiful and poignant letter for her family and read it to me. It's because of this touching prose in which she paints a picture of her love for them that I felt compelled to feature my friend, Lauretta Swansboro.
I would like to share with you a poem I wrote. This poem came about because about a year ago, I had some serious health problems with my liver, which caused me to almost die. I thought I would like to write a poem for my children to share with them a lot of feelings that I had after this experience. And so I called this poem Live or Die. Okay, so I'm dying, but aren't we all? I've just been given a glimpse of my mortality, that's all. And isn't that one of the things we were sent here to do with our journey on earth? Die? Wasn't our birth to this life death from another one? Yearning to return to that other life where parents, brother, grandparents are, aunts and uncles, best friends and cousins. Home. Isn't that truly our home? Isn't this just a place to dwell for a short time while we learn? Learn to grow and trust and love and hurt and overcome, to accept and honor and heal and care for self and others. Finding happiness in the simplest of things and simpleness in the most grand and spectacular. to experience life at its fullest, and in the fullness of life, find your peace. I find peace in knowing that I love my children. They are the best parts of me that I can give the world. Loving and strong, weak and brave, tender and bold, thoughtful, caring, meek, compassionate, full of life. They are my life and my pride and joy, my reason for getting up and living another day, my hope and my plans for the future. My future goes on through the lives they choose to live. Live well, my babies. Find joy in the living of each new day. Find happiness in sunrise and set. Feel blessed and grateful in happiness and sorrow. Find contentment in being. Honor being, just to be. Alone. Spend time alone with yourself. Learn to love yourself. Accept who you are and where you came from. Honor your past for shaping you into the person you are becoming. You are ever growing, learning, changing, becoming. The shape of my life is molded by you and our lives as they intertwined, grew together, and planted new roots. My life reflects on you, and your life reflects on me. I see a reflection that is beauty and strength, determination and love. Thank you. You have given me experiences that helped me to know strength, to have courage and accept that life is hard, but there is beauty in the journey. It's not about the end. It's about all we experience along the way. It's about you and me together. Together is the best way to travel the experiences of this life. Together with yourself or together with those you love makes the end even more glorious and powerful, because in that end and in the next beginning, that's where we'll find ourselves together. This is the first song I ever wrote, and I wrote it about my mother. She died at the young age of 56, and I was in my mid-30s with a house full of children. She had always been my best friend, and I could go to her with anything. And one day I was sitting and really missing her presence in my life, and I thought to myself, well, why don't I write a song? So I sat down and started writing lyrics, and a little bit of the melody was in my head, and soon I came up with this song about my mother. And it talks about the things that she taught me when I was young and how she sang to me, and her lullaby was always a comfort to me. When I was a little girl, Mama held me on her knee, and as she sat and held me close, she sang a song to me. When I'd have hurts from falling down, hurts from words Carolyn got ill, her voice grew tired, her songs were heard no more. I sat beside her bed and sang the songs she'd sung before. Mama's singing with the angels now. She's singing from on high. At night when I lay down to sleep, I can hear Mama's lullaby. Mama, sing a song for me. Sing a lullaby. Mama, sing a song for me. A song will get me by. Mama, sing a song for me. Sing a lullaby. Mama, sing a song for me. A song will get me by. Mama, your songs, they always get me by. I'm going to share a part of my life with you that's kind of difficult, but it's important to know from the lessons that you learn when you go through hard things. I spent 17 years married to a man who was abusive, and I didn't really realize the impact it was having on my life and my children's life until quite a ways into that marriage. And things happened that gave me what I felt like was a reason to get out. And I kept this kind of secret in my life for a long time. We moved away from that area, moved to a new area, and I just didn't share with anybody. And one day I was talking with a friend of mine, and I started talking about this experience and the things that I went through. And she told me, you need to do something with that because people could benefit from hearing your story. So I went home and started thinking about how I could best share this information with others. And of course, being a songwriter, I thought, why don't I write a song? And it's been very helpful and comforting to me to write this song and to sing it and share it with people. My daughter even uses it in therapy with her practice. But the song talks about how abuse ravages your self-esteem, your confidence, all the things about you, how it damages your children. But the song also talks about where we have our hope, and that's in our Savior Jesus Christ, and He's always there to lift us up out of any place that we ever find ourselves. And so that's the beautiful part of this message, and I hope that you can feel that too. Thanks for listening. How could I know where this choice would end up? How could I have guessed the end? Seemed like the right thing to do at the time. I thought that he was my friend, but the picture turned ugly as years wore away, and each year like the last had no end. And my children and I were the victims of rage. I had dreamed of a family, a home warm and safe. All was changed by the hand of a man. Where do you go when your world's torn apart? Every new road has a bend. All of your feelings are turned inside out. When will this broken heart mend? Once my children were young, now they're lost and confused, and they don't have the courage to stand. 'Cause 'cause all trust has been trampled and egos are crushed. I had wanted a haven, a place filled with love. All was changed by the hand of a man. Is there not somewhere in this whole wide world where a soul can find some peace, where one can become whole again? Will this hurt and anger cease? Someone reached down to me, lifted me up, whispering, oh yes you can. You can reclaim all that's lost and destroyed. You can be rid of this brand. Just remember there's one who has suffered it all. He is there if you just ask him in. He will bind up your wounds, give you strength for each day. So I got on my knees and to him I did pray. And I felt him enfold me in his gentle way. All was changed by the hand of a man. Do you remember that book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus by John Gray? Somehow it inspired me to write a song about the differences between men and women and husbands and wives and the complex relationship that we have with one another. Plus, I always wanted to be a rock star, so here's my Joan Jett version. I call it If Men Is From Mars and Woman Is From Venus. Enjoy. If man is from Mars and woman is from Venus, then it would only follow that a woman is a goddess, and that would leave a man, in my own opinion, to be a Martian. He only listens with his ears when I share with him my fears. I want to know he's really there when I'm ready to share my hopes and dreams, my plans and schemes, every ordinary thing, like how the kids all run and shout. The way my job stresses me out. If man is from Mars and woman is from Venus, then it would only follow that a woman is a goddess, and that would leave a man, in my own opinion, to be a Martian. Fine dining he'd trade happily for any sports show on TV. No caviar, give him a snack, a hot dog and a cold six-pack. I hope t-shirts and newsreel shorts, anything on a cord, and won't know that I'm really there unless I sit in his chair. His idea of romance takes 10 minutes more or less. It doesn't even matter if I wear my tight black dress. I guess I'll never get him, and I know he won't get me. Everybody tells me that's the way it's supposed to be. If man is from Mars and woman is from Venus, then it would only follow that a woman is a goddess, and that would leave a man, in my own opinion, to be a Martian. If man is from Mars and woman is from Venus, then it would only follow that a woman is a goddess, and that would leave a man, in my own opinion, to be a Martian. But he's my Martian.
Well, now, Lauretta, in my opinion, You are a rock star, and thank you for appearing in this episode. This Song Stories, Quiet Stories podcast is all about the story and writing that story down for others to learn from, whether or not they're related to you. It sometimes seems like they who are related to you aren't interested in what you have to say about your experiences until after you've left and can't tell your story anymore. So I think it's wonderful that Lauretta wrote down what she wants her children and their families to know about her journey and what to look for on their own paths. I was lucky enough to interview my mom while she was still here. I didn't interview my dad because he'd already written about a few of his experiences, but now I keep wishing I'd asked both of them more questions and hope that someday I'll find and unearth a hidden treasure, like a new photo, a newspaper article, a yearbook page with them doing a favorite activity. A cousin of mine recently posted on Facebook a funny memory of my dad falling off a chair at her family's home while she was growing up, and then feeding him ice cream afterwards. Ice cream was his culinary love language, and anyone who knew him well knew that. What is your favorite comfort food, and why? Are your parents alive? Whether they are or not, write down questions. If they are still here, ask them. If they aren't, find a relative or friend and ask what they remember about your mom or dad. The stories you'll hear may paint a completely different picture than the ones already hanging on your wall. Come back next time and listen to a couple of songs that I wrote and recorded with the band Evening Sunrise that I was in with Lauretta and Pat and Wayne. Listen to a story about one of our outdoor concerts that involved goats wandering through the audience. You can find more of Lauretta's songs online at soundcloud.com/Lauretta Swansboro. You'll find the correct way to spell her name in the notes for this podcast, episode 15, Paint Me a Picture, at MyCarolynMurset.com, where you can also subscribe, check out my digital music store, and my upcoming events. You can also subscribe at iTunes and Google Play. Thanks for writing. Thanks for listening. I am your host, Carolyn Murset.